Okay, we are back. Everything is fine. Everything's going great. For you, for me, it's the Roottrees are dead. I guess it's not going well for the Roottrees. But for you and I, it's great and fine, and nothing is stressful. And we're going to crack this case wide open. I'm Stuart, if you didn't know. This is episode 7, I want to say. And when you last left me, I was going mad. But I feel like my camera's sort of leaning forward a bit. There we go. It's better. I'm a little bit more in my little circle. Okay. What's going on? Right. Yes. Okay. So we are doing a couple of things. We're searching for a Morden in here. Who was it? Caroline Morden? What did I write down? Did I write anyone down? No. And it's been about 5 minutes, so I've forgotten everything. Caroline Morden, yes. We're searching for a Caroline Morden in here who has some affinity for Stephanie Jones. Don't let our conflicts spread to the next generation. So there was some kind of conflict between Caroline Morden in here and Carl Roottrees. So that Caroline Morden probably next gen. And Caroline. All right, here's my guess. Here's my guess, based on what I can see here. But it's... In fact... Okay, here's my guess. I'm going to finish the sentence. Right. What did we learn? We learned Stephanie Jones married someone else Jones from the print shop. What have we... Brian Jones. Stephanie Jones married Brian Jones. But Stephanie Jones was the daughter of Caroline. Oh, well, that's Caroline, isn't it? So Caroline Morden. Caroline Morden has a female partner. I guess they're not married because it's 1998. I'm getting to a point. I'm getting to a point. In this, the reason I'm focusing on this section of the thing is because we've got a guardian adoption or otherwise thing here where I think this is hinting at the fact that Caroline Morden this is a confusing connection of things here. Okay, so my thought was Caroline Morden got together with, we don't know, a woman, partner. I don't think there's a name here. And together they raised Stephanie, which is why there's a guardian adoption thing otherwise, because maybe... Oh no, okay, I know why there's these two lines. So Caroline had a child with a man. These are all spouse, but I think spouse is just the generic term for partner on this chart, whether marriage is legal or not. Caroline Morden, who I think is here, had a child with a man. So this is these links here, these solid white links are biological lines. So these two people had Stephanie Jones. Split up I think he's God knows where, because she said she grew up without a father. So long. Maybe he bogged off. Maybe he died. We don't know. Caroline then married, or got together with, or however you want to phrase it, partnered up with this woman who adopted Stephanie. Stephanie then married Brian. I think we can do this. I think we can put a bunch of these people in. Right, here we go. That's Stephanie. That's Brian. I'm sticking it in. Yo! We don't need a picture of Brian, I guess. We can put him in later. There we go. Where's it? There you go. Brian. In you go. Bam. Stephanie. In you go. Landon. So I'm guessing you're a Landon. So it's all coming together. You're a politician. Great. You are Caroline, right? Morden. A local artist. Come on. Come on. Maybe we can look you up in the newspaper, Caroline Morden, and find a picture of you. We don't know who you are. So who are we pending on? That's one full person. You are unknown occupation, so you're not a full person yet. You are just a picture. You need an occupation. Okay, so it's just the one full person, really. What the hell did you do with your life, Clark? Okay, so I'm going to guess Caroline Morden who has appeared on the front page of the Butler County Times in the past, is going to be in the paper. So I just needed... I was typing Caroline bloody Landon, but Landon is her father's name. Her missing father's name. God, if only I making a cup of tea will sort you out. You just need to step away and need to come back and need to look at it with fresh eyes. Bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. I love that printing sound. It means something has gone great. Here we go. You find a cover story about local art installations. Oh, I'm moving like Gary Oldman in Leon the Professional, which isn't good. And I'm essentially teetotal. I just like caffeine. And I'm not even hyped up on caffeine. Caffeine doesn't really affect me. I just drink a lot of Pepsi Max and tea. Right, I believe I started a sentence. You find a cover story about local art installations, including one by Caroline Morden. There isn't much to say about Caroline as a person. This is mostly a listing of art in Butler County. She seems to get top billing. Accompanying the story, there's an image of Caroline standing beside a large metal sculpture of a mermaid. It is captioned, Caroline standing next to her sculpture, Atlantis Burden. Burden? Interesting. We'll look up that sculpture. In fact, I'm going to write a little note. I'm going to look up Atlantis Burden. I don't think it's going to give us much, but maybe it'll lead us down a line. The sculpture is one of many works featured in her upcoming book, Self-Portrait, Art and the Beauty of Women. According to a quote further down, it's Atlantis's Burden. It's not... because the apostrophe is doing the possessive there, I thought it was Atlantis Burden, but it's You see what I'm saying? I thought like the Atlantis was in quotes here, and then Burden was just like on the side. Atlantis' burden is meant to symbolise a society split by indecision over whether women should be equals or something to protect. The picture on the front page has been added to your evidence. So I think all of this was just to give us a picture of Caroline. Well, I reckon if I highlight this, it'll just make us come to the same page, right? Yeah. Okay. Ooh, I wonder if we can search this book now. We cannot. Ooh, I wonder if we can search it in the library though. Caroline Morden. Here it is. 1987. Dedicated to Eloise and Stephanie. Okay, let's... There's an Eloise question mark in the what's it? Right, let me update this. With a tick. And this is Stephanie Jones's mother. I know this is true, but because it's already in the family tree, but let's just do that. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to go like okay, good. It says Caroline Morden there. So I got the names Eloise and Stephanie attributed to Caroline Morden. Now Eloise, probably the partner? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, back to this. I know there's the evidence there, but I think that's just a picture. Let's have a look at this. Mostly black and white pictures of Caroline's art. The centerpiece is a series of full-colour nude self-portraits of different ages, stretching from 25 to 30. They have certainly not been added to evidence. I was going to say, like, when you have, like, stretching from, when you're, like, talking about an age, like, these are a series of self-portraits across a period of time. I don't think just 5 years. In my head, I was thinking the sentence would end with from like 25 to 50 or whatever, but sure. In the intro, Caroline talks about influences. She was one of the youngest in her generation. Interesting. Is that useful? And in the late teens felt betrayed when her sister Gwendolyn and cousin Bonnie gave up on dreams to settle for boring men. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna add that. That's more Caroline stuff. She expressed it to her brother-in-law, Dr. Wilson. Just gonna shove that in there as well. Oh. So she felt betrayed when her sister Gwendolyn and cousin Bonnie gave up on dreams to settle for boring men. She especially dislikes her brother-in-law, Dr. Wilson, who she calls completely bogus. Their marriages led her to double down on her passions, art and the environment. She even married a man who was the opposite of boring, which was an overcorrection. She comes out strongly against the Roottrees company's effect on the local environment and rues how she was not able to convince her father, Zach, to make changes to policy. Yes. Okay, so that doubly clarifies that this is most likely Caroline Morden. Everything makes sense about this whole section here. I'm happy with that. Especially as it said she did marry a man, but we know she's now with a woman. Whereas this person here, as far as we can tell, married one person and stayed with them, because there's no split up marker, there's none of that shit. So this all adds up to what we know about Carolyn, Stephanie, etc. Very happy with that. She also explains that her marriage to Mark, led to the most volatile moments in her life, all negative, The only good thing he ever gave her was a daughter. Leaving them all behind for good has pushed her to pursue her true loves, art and the beauty of women. That's the name of the book. Okay, great. So this has given us a couple of names, which I'll double check on in a sec, but let's have a look at the evidence we've... No. Before we look at the evidence, let's just focus in on this. I feel like we're making so much more progress in the first 15 minutes of this than we did in the whole last one, but the last one was all set up. The last one was all opening, like I said, broadening the field, and now we're picking out the things that grow in the field. Brother-in-law, Dr. Wilson. That should be an easy one to nail down. So that's Carolyn. So brother-in-law would be this person, right? Alternatively, it's Eloise's brother. But I'm going to assume it's this person. So this is another woman. Which I guess makes sense, because I think we ran out of Mordens. Oh, we've got a Gwendolyn, who is also mentioned. Oh yeah, her sister Gwendolyn, right? Sister Gwendolyn, cousin Bonnie, brother-in-law Wilson. Right, that's fine. So this is Gwendolyn, which we probably could have got anyway as soon as we got Carolyn, because there's only one Morden left. That's fine. Let's see how we got. How are we doing for Wilsons? There's quite a lot of Wilsons. There's 4 Wilsons. And all we know is that he's a doctor. And we can't even put in that he's a doctor because he's not in the bloodline, so we don't care. Now it says they gave up on dreams to settle. So maybe housewife, if we're talking about people who gave up on their dreams. Maybe not. Now, is Gwendolyn in the picture of the New Agers, the Dreamers, the whoever you call it? Maybe. I reckon old Beret Head is Caroline. Just cause. What the fuck is this? That could be a Gwendolyn. Don't know. The redhead hasn't gone any further than this lot, though, have they? Okay. Cousin Bonnie. So cousin. That's cousin Bonnie, who also settled. Okay, right. So that's definitely Carolyn. All of this is like magnifique. Double check that I put brother-in-law, Dr. Wilson, sister. Yeah, this is all here. This is all great. This is all perfect. I want to look at the temp page of this again, because I think there's a bunch of stuff in there that might be things that we can now make more sense of. Maybe, I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff we dumped in there and we just kind of didn't look at it. Right, let's look at this picture. Amazing. I'll read it first, and then I'm going to go see how it compares to the New Ages, the Fancy Pants, the Dreamers, whatever they're called. 8. There's 8 things in here. Speaking of which, actually, the fuck is this? Oh, that's What was the thing? The campaign mailer, right? Down to 3 from 11, I think. So that's interesting. That is interesting. Okay, so these are going down. So bloody page 1 of Life Between. Look at all this shit that's happening. Right, sorry. The image that accompanied a story about a local art in the Butler County Times. It's captioned, Caroline standing next to her sculpture at Lannis's Burden. Yeah, we read this from the newspaper. Yep. It was from her book. There we go. There's your thumbnail right there for the YouTube page. Yep, Caroline standing next to... Yeah. Okay. So she's holding a shell in one hand and a king in the other hand. And that is her burden. And that's Caroline. Now, can we use that here? Right, one sec. One cotton picking minute here. Okay. It's just one thing at a time. Why can't I pick? Come on. So based on the curly hair, eyebrows a bit different. But they have got she has got the same curls as this person here. Maybe the same eyes. Yeah, I would bet they're the same people. Do I need to make another affinity page with all these people on it just so I can start crossing people off? Maybe I will do that. Okay. Hang on. I'm gonna do it. Don't think I won't. Great. Okay. So let's first things first. Stick you in there. You're definitely Caroline, and I think the other person's Caroline too, but I don't need to know that. So I've got 1, 2. If you settle down, you might be a housewife, and if you are a housewife, I might be able to lock in the 3 of you. So let's maybe do that. Maybe the clue was they gave up on their dreams for boring men. There we go. There it is. I don't see that as cheesing it, because I do feel like the clue was they gave up on their dreams. And we got Mark as well. Eloise. Yep. Who the fuck's Christopher Hudson? Christopher Hudson. I hardly knew you. You've got to be a yellow person. So where are you? Where are you, Christopher Hudson? Is that you? No. Are you? Here we go. There you go. Angelica. Because these are the Hudsons. Okay. So very briefly. This is sorry, I'm looking at a different screen. This is Miracle Jr., right? He's not a new ager. He's not a dreamer. Yeah, Miracle Jr. Miracle, Ernie Jr., Carolyn. Right, give me... Right, I got this up. Remember this? If I just... Hang on, I need to copy that to the clipboard, and I can go new from clipboard, and then I can just go boom. Do that. Just... So that means when I draw on top of it, it's visible. Let's get my little pen out. Great. So this is Miracle Junior. You are the two Hudsons, right? You are Guy and Bonnie Hudson. Great, that we can handle. So you're Guy and you are Bonnie. I think therefore you are Caroline Morden. That's what we think, right? But I'm going to write question mark. This person, didn't we put them in the... Are they in the family tree? Is that you? You got the cheekbones for it, but I don't know. And there's an Eli in there. Is that Eli? It's weird because it's supposed to be the New Ages and I mean the Dreamers, and there's people from all over the bloody place. Like, is this person Miracle's youngest? Because he looks like a miracle, doesn't he? So is this Eli? We know he's an Eli. Otherwise, I don't think we know who any of these people are. But I like to kind of put them in here so I can kind of cross them off so I know who I'm kind of looking for. I clicked his face out. Did I not do anything with his face? Apparently I didn't put his face anywhere. Okay. All right. Well, you know, that was short. That was a short-lived exercise of drawing on that thing, but I'm sure it'll come in handy as I cross them off. There's a lot of people there, and I just wanted to be kind of sure I knew who they were. And I'm probably going to not click on their faces until I have somewhere to put their faces. And that's going to be my not watertight way of telling myself I've identified them, and it's already broken because I clearly haven't put that person anywhere. And who have we got? Bonnie. Yep, Bonnie. Guy. Ernie, we don't know. Caroline, there. Gwyneth and Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn is here. Who the hell is Gwyneth? Gwendolyn. Who the hell is Gwyneth? Now they should be in this. They should be in this line of the family tree, right? Because they're meant to be dreamers. So the dreamers on free spirits. Jesus Christ! I'm never going to remember their name. Miracle Junior. Should be Miracle the Third. Jim Roottrees. Well, we know who Jim Roottrees is. We should be able to pluck him out. Has he got his famous mole? Famous eyebrows? This guy looks fancy. could be him. It's tricky, isn't it? That's can't be sure. Right, who else is here? Clark. Rafferty. Okay, so Clark is here. Bloody hell, Carl's in this picture. We know Carl as well. Carl's the dad. Carl's this guy. Oh, wait. There he is. That's Carl. Right. Bring me back. Bring me back. We did put him on there. He was just a little picture. That's why I couldn't see him. He was a little guy. So we have clicked him. So this is Carl. And he's gold. He's yellow on the map, so we know that's him. So these two are Jim and Clark. We just don't know which one's which. I mean, his name's bloody Eli. So that's Eli M. He looks like a miracle guy. I'm half tempted to bloody Eli. I'm tempted to... I bet it's M for miracle. The amount of times they've written miracle. Hang on, thinking with my brain. Hang on. I had a thought. It was coming. Can I hold on to it? I don't think so. No, it's gone. Whatever that thought was, it's gone. I know what my thought was. That's right. I was going to... I wanted to put something in the notebook, and I wasn't sure how to do it. Bonnie, Guy. Jim and Clark, I think. But maybe that... So here's my current new thought. If we did know who Jim and Clark were in this picture, we could identify this Ernie character, who might be this guy, unless this guy is Jim or Clark. What do we think? Why can't I bring this in here? I'm trying to like... What do we think? What do we think? What's an identifying feature of these people? So he's got like puffy eyes. I don't know if this is how I'm meant to be playing this. If I'm meant to be like looking for characteristics. And he's got sort of puffy eyes. Whereas he's got the kind of dark shaped eyebrows. They look quite similar. Why have I got him? Oh, I did click on him. Haven't clicked on him though. So surely you can go in there. Ta-da! Does it say Eli? Eli M. It's got to be. That's got to be him. It's got to be him. It's got to be him. I'm so convinced just by looks that I'm going to put him in there like this. We don't know if he's a preacher though. Back to this. Right. Eli M. Yes. And then the rest are Jim, Clark, and Ernie Jr. Now, what do we know about Ernie Jr.? Because Ernie Jr. came up in stuff. Was it in here? I feel like we should look through this a bit more because look how much stuff there is. Why is this in a weird order? 64, 53, 58. Is this like in order of... Is the whole list in order of kind of cluedness? So Life Between Wars has the most clues in it, so it's at the top, and then each page is listed in a kind of clueness, and then the phone rings as the next amount of clues, which we haven't followed up on. Newspaper clipping seems to have a lot of... How can this newspaper clipping have so many things I can follow up on? There's like nothing to it. If I do this, what does that do for me? Still 5. If I do this, I mean, yeah. What the hell? What could I possibly get out of this that I haven't got already? I've already got the face, which I think is the most important thing from this newspaper clipping. What is this 5 telling me? What is happening? What does this mean? What are we doing here? We know the book. We know her name. We know the sculpture. We know the Butler County Times. 5 things. The 5 things. Oh. Her face. Butler County Times. Her name. Her book. That's 4 things. Name of the sculpture, maybe, but that just leads you back to the same thing in the Butler County Times. I'm so confused what the numbers mean. Nonetheless, here we are. Drink my cup of tea, which is gone cold. Right, I'm going to look for... the Coselles. I'm going to look for... What am I going to look for? What am I searching here? Ernie Jr., maybe. This is... not just because it's got the most numbers on it, but this is the meatiest thing we have. It's got history of the family all through it. I'm going to bash my microphone with my tea. Aunt Margot. Margaline. What a name Margaline is. Okay. Tried to dye my hair blonde to fit in with 2 of them. 2 of them. Oh my god. We spoke about this. Maybe in the last episode. We spoke about which one of these is Margaline and which one of these is Gwendoline. Oh my god, Gwendoline was here the whole time. Jesus Christ. Took us ages to write Gwendoline up here. And it was written in that bloody page. We even highlighted it. Right. You are blonde. You are Margaline. Margalite. You are not blonde. You are Gwendoline. 1, 2. Two-thirds. 2/3. 1/3. I feel confident you're a housewife. I feel confident you're a housewife because there was a whole thing about her being the first woman in the family not to be a housewife. What is your job, Chris Rafferty? Okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We're on the cusp of, I think, another group of 3. If we can figure it out. Gwendoline. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We were here. Tried to dye my hair blonde to fit in with the 2 of them. Right, that was the clue we needed. She just complained to her I was the lucky cousin. Now she's off living the glamorous life while I'm stuck here with Clark. I must admit seeing her everywhere contributes to my unhappiness. Her visage stares at me even now from my coffee table. No. Harrison Lane. I think he's just an actor, right? Harrison Lane. You find some information on a website about all films that are not yet available on VHS. The site's not very well organised. The search is broken. Yep. I think we've been to this website before. I don't know if we've been to this search though. Harrison Lane was a television actor with a major role in Guys Like Us and some other films. His largest role before Guys Like Us was a villain in the first series of Western Frontiers. Due to the popularity of Guys Like Us, the studio brought Lane back to play villain's twin brother, this time as the hero, joining the protagonist. Western Frontiers has no connection to the Roottrees. Harrison Lane seems to be a dead end. But did you know Harrison Lane married his high school sweetheart after they reunited in a movie premiere? Isn't that sweet? Irrelevant. Right, first Roottrees to be anything than a housewife. That's fine. But I'm off topic. A girl with all the luck in the world. If I could raise a child without worry. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do something just to see if this number changes. I'm going to do this. Oops. Because I think that is a clue. Okay, it didn't change that. Do we think that's Lauren Roottree? And that's whoever the hell her husband is, Jacob. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. It's got the same whoosh, wavy hair, right? Whoosh. Same kind of eyes, like the liddedness. Nose is pretty similar. And then maybe this is Jacob. Maybe it's just... Until I just had a little moment when I was looking at them, I just thought this was a picture of, you know, a normal soldier and soldier's wife kind of picture, because it was sort of a history. But it is diaries, so maybe it is her. Next page. Dynasty. Or dynasty. Elias. Yep. Clancy. Heated. Architects. Next gens. Grandad. Clancy. Angie's older than Zach. Yep. I'll never forget the cuss words Pop used when he told me I wouldn't go to us. Maybe they want to samples the product. And that was a clue that Zach was fatter than the other people in his generation, I think, if I remember rightly. Sam. God, who the hell is Sam? Who is Sam? An obscure relative. I'm suddenly looking for like genderedness, because I swear I heard her talking about Sam as a he, but now I'm not seeing it, and I'm like, am I been? Have I been barking up the wrong tree? Sorry, I'm going to go back to these. Sam. Grandpa insisted we include Sam, and even if we didn't want to. None of us understood why including Sam. So, maybe that's Miracle Jr. Because we know that's Miracle the First. Maybe that's Miracle Jr. Or Miracle the Third. Or Eli. Maybe that's Sam. Have we identified this person? We haven't stuck them in. So maybe that's Sam. All right. Nonetheless, are there any he's? I didn't recognize Sam. When I asked who Sam was, Pop said it's complicated. He saw Sam, but not that Sam was a he. Sam gave him... I think there were a lot of he, him constructions around Sam, but not about Sam. And I think I kind of misunderstood, or I just kind of didn't check myself quickly enough. And maybe there's some, especially as we're talking historically, masculine qualities to the things Sam is described doing. Sam is described working alongside the farmhands. Sam is described using tools on bike engines and stuff. So, I mean, there's not... So I feel like there's a bit of deliberate obfuscation. I still don't know if Sam is male or female. Unless I'm missing something. Sam gave him and taught him, but the him is Eli. Yeah, so I think Sam has been coded in a masculine way, but not yet explicitly confirmed in this page to be male, which is interesting. I'll make a little note. Sam, male or female? Question mark. Granny had sisters. Grandad had a brother or two. Trim their branches from the family tree. So why is Sam special? Who is Sam? How do we look Sam up? And then if we go to here, Sam. Stephanie. Is there there's a Roottrees Samantha? There's a Roottrees Samantha. Is there another Sam? There's a Sam Cattrall. Yeah, because we wrote down Sam Cattrall. Am I being led up the garden path by assuming genders of someone who's just a bit manual laboury in 1963? Is Sam just a kind of Calamity Jane tomboy kind of person? Are there any other Sams in here? No. Right, what we got here? Clark. Clark is her son. Clark's getting married. Clark's getting married to Danielle. We knew that. Jacob and I got married at 16. We knew about Jacob. Clark is a free spirit. The only one who has any discipline is Carl, but that's because maybe I'm getting old. South of Pennsylvania. Yep. My first published book, Squashbuckle My Heart. That's a book, isn't it? Maybe we should look that up. Make a note of that. Swashbuckle My Heart. And it's a book. We could look that up in the library. Based on pirate stories. Yeah, I don't know what that's going to give us because we know so much about Lauren already, but Gwyn is Gwyn, free spirits. I guess that's all we got. But what did Clark do next? Right, Swashbuckle My Heart, where are you? So let's copy. Let's start with a spider search and go from there. Alright, let's go to the library. Lauren. She changed her name, didn't she? Now let's start with Lauren Roottrees and see where we go. Because I think she... First book was Swashbuckle My Heart. Now, where is the thing about... Let's go over here a minute. Few romance novels under Lauren Rafferty. So maybe Swashbuckle My Heart is under Lauren. Yeah, maybe we can look up this as well. Romance in court. This is what I haven't been doing. I haven't been looking at books as they've been coming up. Court jester. Maybe we can look that up. Okay. Ding. Okay, so let's try Rafferty. Out of print. Re-released as X Marks the Spot. Okay. X marks the spot. She re-released her diaries under an original. She released her diaries under original name, but did she re-release? Yes, a publisher re-released her romance novels under Roottrees. So let's now do Roottrees. God, we're going to circles with this. Okay. According to the back of the book, this is a buried... So 1974 fiction romance. According to the back of the book, this is a buried treasure by Lauren Roottrees from the author of the Court series. The Court Jester series. Right? Not Court. Court Jester. Oh, romance in court. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. It also says, keep your eye out for Lauren Roottrees' next book, Revisiting the Diary 10 years later, releasing in 1975. Oh, that's cool, because maybe that's more of this shit. Because this only went up to 1964. Published in 65. So what's this called? Revisiting the Diary. I'm just going to copy that for a second. I just want to double check I've looked up the first one. I think that's it. It doesn't look like it's copied, but was this called Life Between Wars? Did we look that up? We must have, but A Life Between Wars. Yeah, we have already looked at that. So, Revisiting the Diary 10 years later. This is exciting. So this is stuff print. Look at that, 5 pages of it. Revisiting the Diary 10 years later. So Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to read this blue blurb. And then I'm going to end the episode. Because we're 55 minutes in. I don't want to go much longer than an hour. And I'm not going to. And I think these 5 pages of this book are going to give us stuff to get into, I think. I could be wrong, but if it's going to give us stuff to get into, I want to get into it in a fresh episode so we can dive into it and I'll be less doolally. Perhaps. So let's read this. This was a version of Lauren Roottrees' diary released in 1975, so 10 years later. Because it's called 10 years later, Jesus Christ. Unlike the original diary, it contains no pictures, but has many new passages that reflect on her thoughts 10 years later. One major event happened between the releases that changed Lauren's outlook on certain subjects, the death of Elias. A summary of the fallout has been added to your notes, as well as some other select pages. That'll be something that'll give us places to go. So, let's do that in the next episode. I'm going to go to bed because I think I need it. But despite, I think, me feeling like slightly wired for a number of reasons, we did well in these last couple of episodes. And we've got a new thing that's going to send us forward. Next episode, we're going to broaden the field again because we've got pages of stuff. And we're on the cusp of another 3, I think, because I think we've got the 2 5 pieces, the 2 women 5 pieces. I think we've got them locked down. And we've got a couple of people where we've got 2 or 3 bits of information. No, 1 or 2 bits of information. And we might be able to fill those out. So, plenty to look forward to next episode, hopefully. Thank you for joining me on this. Sorry if it's been a bit... probably not as much as last episode, but a little bit. I'm sure I've missed a bunch of stuff. I'm sure I've not looked at a few things, and there's things maybe you've seen that you're just itching for me to find out, and I'm sure I'll find those at some point. Thanks for bearing with me. I appreciate it. This is fun. This is a fun game. This is a fun game. When I start games, I get a bit worried because I feel a bit overwhelmed by learning the mechanisms and not having any information and having to figure out everything from scratch. But then when I get into a little bit of a rhythm, understanding what the game wants of me, and now I can just I'm enjoying understanding about the family, I'm enjoying the connections, I'm enjoying sort of this little it's not dramas, but it's, you're getting little insights into these people's lives and who they are and how they connect to each other and stuff. And there's definitely something else going on in the background that I'm interested in. There's information and stories that are happening as well that aren't necessarily things you lock down. The family tree part is the only thing you really kind of lock in as game progression. Everything else you are absorbing outside of this mechanism. Something... we dealt with this part of the family tree, right? And there was a story there. There was a story about deadbeat husbands, changing your life, finding a new lover, pursuing art, having a child who's in politics, and talking about mending the rifts between this side of the family and that side of the family for the good of the children, and so on, and who is this person called Sam, and how do they connect to it? Not in terms of how do they connect to it via the family tree, and if it is Samantha and not Sam, boy Sam, Cottrell or whatever. Sure, we can put them on the family tree at some point, probably, seeing as they are a root tree. But there's a whole story there about why did they just turn up? why did Elias insist on them becoming part of the family events when so many others were cut out? Like, that is something that's not going to be locked in. That's going to be something we just have to absorb in our brains. That is something we just have to like understand. In the same way, there are some other mystery games like Blueprints, for example, when lots of it you don't lock into the mechanisms of the game. Lots of it is the flavor that you take with you, the relationship between the people you learn about, and filling in the blanks in your head or in the notebook, or you know, on Photoshop, or in like my physical notebook. And there's a real joy in that if you're into that. I know some people maybe don't like to play games that way, and they just like to like be able to figure out how to progress, like how to make the numbers go up. But I mean, I'm enjoying that there's work being done in filling out all the meat between the little strings. Anyway, that was a longer wrap up than I intended, but I'm going now. You should go too. You should go watch someone else's video now that you're done here. Unless, of course, you're binging these sometime far in the future, in which case keep going, stay with me. But if you're watching this as it comes out, then yeah, you know, someone else gives, you know, there's plenty out there to watch. I hear I haven't watched the new series of Shrinking, but I'm going to. Maybe you could watch that. It's pretty good. Bye.